Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and I'm giving you the update for the Vault of Time or the Abyssal Expedition on exactly where we are. So overall, being a little bit more competitive within the Abyssal Expedition does yield some rewards. And of course, we are already sitting all tight around the boss, waiting for the green light to go ahead and attack. Now, at this point of the Vault of Time, if you've already hit the boss, if you're already kind of camped out here, you can see we're at about 11,000 essence an hour, so we're doing pretty well. We also did set up one of our camps. Now, with the camp itself, it is going to give you the ability to rate this. Your settlement tile is connected with the boss tile. Now, of course, once you go in here, you can set your settlement tile. Once you have that, you get a 5% bonus. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you do not miss it. But as you can see, we are all set up on the boss. Getting a couple rewards out of here. We've started and I did my first attack. So pretty good overall. We're waiting again for the green light. So at this point, like I was saying, with our blessed relics, we are still into the tank tree. So what happens now is as we continue to build up essence, we are going to build this tank tree out almost in its entirety. I think we do like 5 relics. I think we do 5 out of here. Then I'm actually going to switch to the support tree, which we're going to build up the support tree quite a bit. Again, you don't want to build it out yet. And I have to stress that, guys, when it comes to building this out, you want to wait. Now, the reason being, I don't want to go in here and I don't want to use a lot of essence on different resources like the Heart of Determination. I don't want to use, a bunch of different pieces to build essentially relics that I could get for free with the timer. So as we continue going through, as we continue building up our essence, again, do not build anything with your blessed essence right now. If you're in this phase, this is kind of the final phase, waiting to get enough essence to build up the relics. Once you have the relics, you can attack. So what happens traditionally is if you attack too early, you're not going to provide enough damage or you're not going to do enough damage to the boss, allowing you to really maximize your damage for the stamina that is being used. So at this point, you can even see, I'll show you the teams that I have in here. And the second one, of course, this is the team right here in this second row. You can see it is built around the Draconic version of Gwen. This is the team that we dropped into the Abyssal Expedition day one. This was the team, guys. So far, this entire Abyssal Expedition, you have gained 505 stamina. We set this team. The team was actually set in here before we even got into the point of getting our very first attacks in, before anything happened, before we did any of our settlements, anything like that. This team was in there when quiet time was still effective. So this is going to yield me a maximum amount. Like I said, we have to make sure that we're building the essentially relics behind this team, the blessed relics, to have the damage that we're going to do in here. And we know tanks, it doesn't matter, but the rest of these are going to make a big difference. So essentially, at this point, I'm going to use my tank relic is going to be used right here on Aethys. Then, of course, the relic soul is going to go on Gwen. Then I'm also building out that support tree, which is going to be Demia, is going to be Silas, and it is also going to be Rosaline, meaning overall, we are going to cover all 5 of these hero classes. We have them built out. We have collections on them. We have everything kind of set. Then we start looking at some of the other formations. It is kind of going to be the exact same and really depending on when you're using these heroes and how you're building these out in their entirety, because a lot of these have either multiple support. We have a couple, and honestly, when you start looking at the different groups, even thinking here of, we have Tricia, the original version of Baden, then we have support, and then we have mage, and then we have warrior. So again, we're going to have to see where we're building them out. Now, a lot of them don't require the blessed relic to do an insane amount of damage. Some of them do require it, again, really depending on the build and depending on the teams that you're using in here. But again, at this point, we are just at the phase. We're going to sit tight. We're going to build up these relics. We're going to build up, a couple more of the strength, probably build up a couple other ones, have a game plan on how this is going to go down and how this boss damage is going to look. Last time we scored pretty well, and I think we're going to do the exact same. Now, also with the beast, you can see we do have Panda Dumpty. He went in day one as well as our dragon. We have the moth in here, Talisman, and then we do have the owl in here. Now, you'll also notice this top team. The very top team that we do have in here, in their entirety, they are at 0 stamina. And now the reason for this is we just got to the point of we are not pathing anymore. We are not farming anymore. All of our tiers 5, 6, 7, and 8 are set for what we're building right here. This is just the stamina accumulation. And with this team, it is going to be the exact same. They are just going to accumulate stamina at this point. Once we get enough stamina, we can do the boss fights, and we do this in rounds. So when you think of larger players within AFK Arena, they have the ability to use a very strong comp, and also putting those blessed relics behind it can actually burn down the first probably 1 or 2 phases of this boss fight itself very, very fast. Again, once we get the green light, which is usually around 5.2, 5.3 for the relic build itself, when we're going to go and we're going to start unleashing a lot of the damage that you have. Now, you also notice in here, going in with Fortitude, going in as tank probably would have been a little bit more beneficial if I did go in as Might. But unfortunately, I did not. Again, we're going to have to see, because all of these heroes right here are built into separate teams, But even thinking now, again, we did come in with tank. That was a choice we made very, very early. Might have made a big difference in here if we did come in with Might. Knowing how this was going to look at this point, we may have made a little of a misjudgment, but overall, it is what it is at this point. Once you kind of commit to it, we had either one of these, either starting as Might or starting as tank. We chose tank, so we're going to have to go ahead and live with it. Now, of course, guys, making sure that you have collections in here, making sure that you kind of have everything set, even looking where we are on the leaderboard and thinking of where they are right now. We're 443, but again, we haven't started killing it. And you notice right here, looking at some of these top tier guilds within AFK Arena, they've already killed the boss twice. Again, these are the super, super ultra competitive. And even looking here, I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we have? 7, 8, 9, 10. We have a couple that killed him twice. The 196, I believe, is the tag. And you can see they killed him early enough that they've already started on phase 3. That is why you're seeing a little bit more damage on these top 2 guilds outside of being where they're at. And then, of course, going down here, you can see there's already been quite a few kills for this and thinking, but what happens, and again, traditionally looking through AFK Arena, and you can see even here 196, so some of these killed at once, is again, if you're attacking too early, you don't have enough stamina to make it through a couple of the higher boss phases. A lot of these guilds that do attack very early will get through a phase, we'll get through 2, we'll get stuck on 3. That is not the plan where we're going. We are going to go ahead, wait till we get the relics, and then really just crush the boss, which is kind of crazy, but that's exactly how we do really plan it, and how a lot of the guilds really successfully. So what you do is you're kind of gauging exactly how much damage you're going to do in the Abyssal Expedition, and that, of course, is going to set you up for exactly how it's going to work and how you're going to get through the game mode without running out of stamina. And honestly, it gets a little dicey right when you get to the end. If you have 1 or 2 players that have some bad hits, don't really pull as much as you thought they would, it'll make a really big difference. But guys, we have a couple more events that are coming down the pipeline. Engraving Rewind still going on, and of course the Exchange, as well as the Temple Rift. Now within the Rift, I made quite a bit more progression in here. I think we pushed all the way to 280. I think we're at 280 as it sits right now. So 2 more days, and then this will unlock again, allowing us to complete it. 300 floors, that's all I do. I don't go in there. I don't go competitive for the frames, everything like that. I just go in there and compete like we are. But all right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video with the update for the Abyssal Expedition. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. And as always, thank you guys for watching.